Pamalarang Turi from Bachelor of Technology, Livelihood Education, Major Information Communication Technology, a third-year student, Section D. And to my instructor, Mr. Glenn Ampalukio. Good morning, sir. My topic is all about computation of grade and secondary learning areas. Our intended learning outcomes is to formulate and compute grades of students in a various secondary grade level, observing DepEd guidelines under the old normal and face-to-face class setting, utilizing verbal and non-verbal communication and technology. Okay, let's move forward to the task 1. A. The following final grades are obtained in a class of grade 9 students. So, we have a set A and set B. So, the grade that belongs to set A, these are the 82, 84, 82, 83, 81, 85, 80, 80, 75, 75, 87, 84, 88, 91, 92, 90, 79, 77, 80, 90, 91, and 83. 88. And the set B, these are the 86, 86, 90, 86, 85, 88, 84, 81, 81, 77, 75, 78, 75, 77, 85, 89, 90, 91, 80, 89, 85, 81, and 78. So, the question. Using a norm reference grading with a 7-point scale, determine the score that would get a failing mark. What is your general comment on this? So, first, we will identify the 7-point scale in the set A. So, these are the 75, 75, 79, and 77. So, we have a 7-point scale in the set A. So, these are the 75, 75, 79, and 77. The lowest of 4 is the 75. So, for me, the failing mark is 75. 75 would get a 80%. Number 2, using a norm reference grading with an 8-point scale, determine the score that would get a failing mark. How is it compared to the previous grading system used? So, first, let's determine the 8-point grading scales in the set B. So, these are the 86, 86, 86, 85, 88, 84, 81, 81, 85, 81, 85, 89, 80, and 89. So, and then the 8-point grading scale, the lowest grade is 80. So for me, the following mark is 80. In the grading system used, it would be unfair. If I'm the student, I would enroll in the set A. It's because it is easier to get higher grade than the set B. B. Compute the grade of a student in. Number 1. Grade 5 English with the following row score. So, these are the level. Written work, performance test, and score quarterly test. So, the written work is 75 out of 100. And the performance test, 80 out of 100. And the score in a quarterly test is 65 out of 100. To get the grade of a student in grade 5 English, we have a step. So these are the steps. First, divide the total row score by the highest possible score. Then multiply the quotient by 100%. So these are the formula. Possible score equals learner total row score divide highest possible score times 100%. So let's proceed first to the written work. Possible score of written work. So the our total row score in the written work is 75. 75, and the highest possible of the written work is 100. Then multiply by the quotient 100%. So 75 divide 100. So 0.75 times 100%. 100%. Next is 0.75 times 100%. The answer is 0.75. This is our possible score of written work. Next is the performance test. This is 80 divide 100 times 100%. Next, 80 divide 100. Okay, 0.80. 0.80 times 100%. Next is 0.80 times 100%. So the answer is 0.80. This is the possible score of our performance test. And lastly is the quarterly test. This is 65 divide 100 times 100%. So 65 divide 100. So the answer is 0.65 times 100%. 0.65 times 100%. So the answer is 0.65. This is our possible score of quarterly test. So these are the possible score of our first the written work 0.75 and the possible score of the performance test is 0.80 and lastly the possible score of quarterly test is 0.65. So the next step is convert percentage score to the wet score. Multiply the percentage score by the weight of the components. So let's do first the written work. Our possible score is 0.75 times the percentage score of the weight of the components. So our weight components is 0.75 also. Okay. 0.75 times 0.75. So the answer is 0.56. This is our written work answer. And in the performance test, our possible score of performance test is 0.80 and the percentage score is 0.80 also. So 0.80 times 0.80 equals 0.64. And lastly, the quarterly test. So our possible score of quarterly test is 0.65 times 0.65. So 0.65 times 0.65 is equals to 0.42. Next step is add the weight score of each component. The result will be the initial grade. So to get our initial grade, we will add the written works and performance test and the quarterly test. So these are the 0.56 plus 0.64 so these are the 0.56 plus 0.64 and 0.42. The total of these three is 1, 1.62. So our initial grade is 1.62. So next step is transmute the initial grade using transmutation. So our initial grade is 1.62. So the transmutation in 1.62 is 60. So the grade of the student in English is 60. Okay. Number 2. Grade 6 student in mathematics with the following row score. These are the given: the written works, performance test, and score in quarterly test. Written work is 33 out of 50. Performance test, 40 out of 60. And in quarterly test, 30 out of 40. So to get the grade of a student in mathematics, we do we go first in the step 1. Divide the total row score with the highest possible score, then multiply the quotient with 100. Okay, our total row score is 33. Divide the highest possible score is 50 times 100. So 33 times 50 is equals to 0.66. So 0.66 times 100%. So 0.66 times 100% is equal to 0.66. Is 0.66. This is our possible score of written work. Next is the performance test. Our total learner row score is 40 and the highest possible score is 60 times the 100% of the quotient. So 40 divided 60 is equals to 0.67 times 100%. So 0.67 times 100% is equals to 0.67. These are the possible score of performance test. Let's move forward to the quarterly test. Possible score of quarterly test. So the learner's total row score is 30 and the highest possible score is 40. So 30 divided 40 times 100%. 30 divided 40 is equals to 0.75. 0.75 times 100% is equals to 0.75 also. These are the possible score of quarterly test. So, next is convert the percentage score of what score, multiply the percentage score by the weight of the components. So, our possible score of written work is 0.66. Then let's multiply to 0. This our score 0.33. Then 0.66 times 0.33 is equals to 0.22. Next is 0.67 times 0.67 times 0.40 is equals to 0.27. Next is 0.75 times 100% times 0.40 is equals to 0.75 times 0.40 is equals to 0.23. Next is add the weight score of each component. The result will be the initial grade. To get the initial grade, we will add this 3, the 0.22, 0.27, and 0.23. So, I will write it. 22, 27. So, I will add up. 2, 7. So the initial grade is 0.72. And lastly, transmute the initial grade using the transmutation. So our initial grade is 0.72. The transmutation of 0.72 is 60. Therefore, the grade of grade 6 student in mathematics is 60. Test 2. The grading system used in the K-12 using the prompt and equating approach. Assessment scores are immediately converted to 100 point scales and then composite mark are average and below are the percentage score of Julia Anderson and Araling Panlipunan for the first adding period, grading period. Written works include a concept map, essay, new writing, news, article, and a couple of reaction papers. Performance tests were comprised of timelines, news reporting, debate, and role play. So, complete the table below. Calculate the total row score in each component. Determine the percentage score. Apply the percentage width and width score and calculate the first quarter grade. This is the table for the written work, performance test, and the quarterly test. So, this is the written work. The written work 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the total possible score and the width score. So, we will find the missing in the box. So that we'll find the total score of this second type. So to get the total score, we will add the written work 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7. So this would be these are 18, 10, 19, 20, 22, and 25, and 30. So I'll write them. 8, 10, 10, 19, 20. Total is 4, 10, 3, 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So the total, the total in the written work is 114. To find the possible score, I will use the formula the learner's total row score divide highest possible score times the quotient where is 100%. So here is, I'm going to sum it. Here is 144 divide 190. So 144 divide 190 is 75.79. This is our possible score. 75.79. And to find the width score, we will use the formula possible score times weight of components. So our possible score is this 75 times 7.79. So we will multiply this in the weight of components. Our weight of components is 30%. So let's multiply it to 30%. The answer would be 22.74. So this would be 22.74. So the missing in the box in the written work is 114, the total, and the possible score is 75.79, and the written width score is 22.74. Let's move forward to the performance test. To get the total, we will add also this 4, 16, 24, 24, and 28. The total would be 92. 92. And 92. And the possible score, we will divide the 92 divide 110 times 100%. So the answer would be 86.84. 83, 83.84, 64. The total of our performance class is 92 and the possible score would be 86.64. Let's move forward to the quarterly test. To get the possible score, this is 60, 60, and then add 30 plus 30 equals 60, and then 60 times 20%, it would be 12. The question is, suppose Julia grade in the same subject for the second, third, and fourth quarter are 87, 88, and 90 respectively. Compute her final rating rounded to the nearest unit and give it descriptive equivalent. So, Julia final grade is to blank and its descriptive rating is pass or fail. To find the Julia final rating, we will add the 3, the 87, 88, and 98. This will be ended. We will divide into 3. So, 87 plus 88 plus 90 is equals to 265. 265. And we will divide into 3. 265 divided 3 is equals to 88.32. So, Julia final rating is 88.33%, and its descriptive rating is pass. Pass. B. The final numerical and descriptive rating of Julia in other learning areas or subject are given below. Using end result you have obtained above, determine her final average. So, these are the tables. This is the learning areas Filipino, English, Mathematics, Science, Arling Kalipunan, MAPI, ESP, EPP. This is the final grade. This is the remark. So, we will find the general average. In this missing box, we will put over here the Julia final rating. So, this is 88. 88 is passed. And to get the final general average, we will add the final grade, then we will divide into the total number of learning areas. So it would be 89 plus 18 plus 89, 82, 57, 88, 91, 2, 4, 6, 8. So this would be 89, 89, 82, 87, 88, 91, 85, 74. So, we will add this 8. We will add this 8. So, the total of this 8 is 685. And then, 685 divided by the number of the learning areas. So, the number of learning areas is 8. 8. So 85, 800, 685 divided 8 is equals to 85.63. 88.25, or in the rounded to the nearest unit, it would be 85 to 83. So the general average is 85, and it would be pass. Task 3. You are provided a table showing the sample card of a grade student named Paulo for the first quarter of the school year 2020-2021. Using the discussion of Lesson 8 as your guide, fill up the empty space to get the needed data until you will able to compute for his quarterly grade at the last column. So, these are the legend. WW stand for written work, PT for performance test, and PS for percentage score, and QA for quarterly assessment. So, these are the learning areas, and this is the these are the possible percentage score of the written work. These are the weight of written work, percentage score of performance test, and the weight of performance test, percentage score of quarterly assessment, and weight of quarterly assessment, and this is the initial grade and quarterly. So, 25.5 plus 40.5 plus 15 is equal to 81. So, our initial grade is 81. So, to find the quarterly grade, we will transmute the initial grade in the transmutation. So, the transmutation of 81 is 88. So, our quarterly grade in Filipino is 88. Next is in English. We will multiply 82 times 30%. 82. So, 82 times 30% is equals to 24.6. So, our rate of written work is 24.6. Next is width of performance task. 77 times 50%. 77 times 50% is equals to 38.5. So, our weight of the performance task is 38.5. In the weight of quarterly assessment, let's multiply 76 times 20%. 76 times 20% is equals to 15.2. So, our weight of quarterly assessment is 15.2. Initial grade of English. Let's add the weight of written works and weight of performance test and the weight of quarterly assessment. These are 24.6, 38.4, and 15.2. 24.6 plus 38.4 plus 15.2 is equals to 78.3. So, our initial grade in English is 78.3. So, let's run to the nearest unit. So, 78. So, the transmutation of 78 in initial grade, this would be 86. Next is in the mathematics. So, 71 times 30%. 71 times 30% is equals to 21.3. Our weight of the written work in mathematics is 21.3. Mathematics, 67.50%. So, 67 times 50% is equals to 33.5. So, our weight of the performance task in mathematics is 33.5. Next is the weight of quarterly assessment, 62 times 20. So, 62 times 20% is equals to 12.4. So, our weight of the quarterly assessment in mathematics is 12.4. Initial grade of mathematics. Let's add 21.3 plus 33.5 and 12.4. 21.3 plus 33.5 plus 24 is equal to 67.2. So our initial grade in mathematics is 67.2. And the quarterly grade of the mathematics is to find the quarterly grade of mathematics, we will transmute in the transmutation. So the transmutation of 67 67 is 79. Next is science. So 76 times 30. 76 times 30%. So 76 times 30% is equals to 22.8. So our weight of science in written work is 22.8. Next is 79 times 50. 79 times 50 is equals to 39.5. So our weight and performance task in science is 39.5. Next is 65 times 20. 65 times 20% is equals to 13. So our weight of quarterly assessment in science is 13. Let's add 22.8 plus 39.5 and 13. 22.8, 39.5 plus 13. So, 22.8 plus 39.5 plus 13 is equals to 75.3. So, let's round up. It would be 75. So, the quarterly grade of the initial grade of the science is 75. And the quarterly grade of the science is 85 in transmutation. Next is Araling Panlipunan, 88 times 30%. 88 times 30% is 26.4. This would be 26.4. 83 times 50% is equals to 13. So our width of quarterly assessment and science is 13. Let's add 22.8 plus 39.5 and 13. 22.8, 39.5 plus 13. So 22.8 plus 39.5 plus 13 is equals to 75.3. So let's round up. It would be 75. So the quarterly grade of the initial grade of the science is 75, and the quarterly grade of the science is 85 in transmutation. Next is Araling Panlipunan, 88 times 30%. 88 times 30% is 26.4. This would be 26.4. 83 times 50%. 83 times 50% is 41.5. So our Araling Panlipunan in weight of performance task is 41.5. Next is 83 times 20%. 83 times 20% is equals to 16.8. So our quarterly assessment and Araling Panlipunan is 16.8. And initial grade, let's add 26 plus 4.4, 41.5, and 16.8. 26.4, 26.4, 41.5, and 26.4 plus 41.5 plus 16.8 is equals to 84. So our initial grade and Araling Panlipunan is 84. So the quarterly grade of Araling Panlipunan in transmutation way is 90. Next is Edukasyong Pagkatao. So 84 times 30. 30%. So 84 times 30% is equals to 25.2. So this would be 25.2. 84 times 50 is equals to 84 times 50%. 84 times 20%. 50% is 40. So this would be 40. Next is 84 times 20%. 84 times 20% is equals to 16.8. 25.2 plus 42 plus 16.5 is equals to 84. So let's put this. Our initial grade is 84. The transmutation of 84 is 90. Next is Edukasyong Pantahanan at Pangkabuhayan. So 80 times 30. 80 times 30 is equals to 24. Next is 84 times 50. It would be 42. 24, 42, 77 times 20% equals to 15.4. Let's 24 plus 42 plus 15.4 is equal to 21. So, our initial grade in Edukasyong Pantahanan at Pangkabuhayan is 81. So, the quarterly grade of these learning areas is 88. Next, to find our grade in MAPI, we will solve first this for the music, art, physical education, and health. So, let's do this first. This three first. So, music, 76 times 30%. 76 times 30% is equals to 22.8. So our music in written work is 22.8. So next, 77 times 50% is equals to 35.5. 38.5. Next is 75 times 20% is equals to 15. And then let's add this to it. 22.8 plus 38.5 and 15 is equals to 76.3. So let's round this to the nearest unit. So 76. The initial grade of music is 76. So the quarterly grade of this music in using the transmutation is 85. Next is 85 times 30% is 25.5. Next, 81 times 50% is 40.5. 80 times 20% is 16. So let's add this three. 25.5 plus 40.5 plus 16 is equals to 782. So the initial grade of arts is 82. So the quarterly grade of arts using the transmutation is 88. Next is physical education. 80 times 30% is 24. Also, 80 times 50% is 40. 78 times 20% is 15.6. So let's add these three. 24 plus 40 plus 15.6. So the total is 82. Oh, 79.6. So the initial grade of physical education is 79. So the transmutation of 79 is 86. Lastly is the health. I know there's a music. So next is health. 85 times 30 equals 25.5. 81 times 50% is 40.5. Then 75 times 20% is equals to 15. So let's add this three. So 25.5, 40.5, and 15 is equals to 81. So the initial grade of health is 81 and in the transmutation it would be 88. Next, lastly is MAPI. So to find the percentage score of with written work in MAPI, let's add the three. This music, art, physical education, and health. So let's add 77 plus 85 plus 80 plus 85. So this would be 82. And to find this wealth of written work, let's multiply 82 times 30%. So 82 times 32 times 20% is equals to 24.6. Let's add this 4. Let's add this 4. 77 plus 81 plus 80 plus 81. So the total of this 3 then divide 4 this would be 80. Then 80 times 50% is equals to 40. So next, let's add this 4. Then we will divide it into 4. 75 plus 80 plus 78 plus 75 divided by 4. So this would be 77. So 77 times 20% is equals to 15.4. So let's add this 3. 24.6, 40, and 15.4. This would be 80. So the initial grade of MAPI is 80. And the transportation of 80% would be 87. So these are wealth of written work, our wealth of performance tests, and wealth of quarterly assessment are initial grade and quarterly assessment. Question. What is Paulo composite grade in MAPI? How did you find it? So, Paulo grade in MAPI is, this would be 87. So, I find it by adding this for the music, art, physical education, and health. That's why I get the answer of Paulo Mapi grade and percentage score of written work, and this percentage score of performance test, and percentage score of quarterly assessment. Next, in which learning area did Paulo perform best during the first quarter? Explain briefly your basis. So, based on the table, he outstanded the most the two subjects. These are the Arling Panlipunan and Edukasyon sa Pagkatao. So, So, I observed that the most of his grade in the subject has a highest point of the coming from these two subjects, and the sum quarterly grade of 90. So I conclude that in this subject he excelled the most. Number 3. In which learning area does Paulo need to improve on and why so? So, based on this table, for me, this would be the mathematics. One of the reasons he got the lowest mark in this subject. All of the criteria in grading in the subject mathematics are the lowest grade, and thus would reflect of Paulo performance in the subject. Paulo needs to be more diligent and give more emphasis to address his problem and improve its grade in mathematics. 4. What does his level of proficiency in Arling Panglipunan signify? So this would be. So Paulo grade in Arling Panglipunan is 90% and has level proficiency is advanced 8. And it signifies the Paulos have the best performance in the subject. He can perform the action appreciated with his skill without assistance and recognized within the organization as a person to ask when difficult questions. Number 5. Describe Paulo overall performance in the first quarter. How would you communicate this to his parents? So, the overall grade of the student has been good so far, and the student coped up the lesson in the class. I will tell to the parents of Paulo that their son has a good grade in this class, but there is one subject that are needed to enhance and pay attention to the subject. This is mathematics. This is the mathematics. Because of all the subject and the math is her lowest grade. But it doesn't mean he is not good in this subject. But instead of this subject has given him difficulties. My reflection in this lesson is academic performance records such as grade and reports card give information about student development and assess parents and teachers in making a vital decision about the children's educational requirement. Show student growth and progress as well as the any areas of weakness. especially important to document success and failure in the classroom so that students can get support when needed. Grading gives students accurate information about their performance and help them realize where they may improve. And that would be all. Thank you.